Welcome to Brighton High School for a High School Rewind Game of the Week. I am Dusty Lidster. Thanks for joining us on our matchup, the Brighton Bengals and the Lone Peak Knights. Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you along with us. Have a terrific non-region matchup for you this evening. Somewhat of a rivalry between Lone Peak and Brighton. 2 years ago, Lone Peak defeated Brighton in the state championship game, and then last season beat Brighton in the semifinal on their way to the 5A state championship against Alta. And Lone Peak has started out hot, and Brighton has started a little bit uneven. Let's start first with the Lone Peak Knights. Well, this is our first time able to see the Knights since last year's run to the national, state, and national championships in that magical season a year ago. And they returned a lot of talent, as they tend to do every year under Coach Quincy Lewis. And a couple of names to keep mention of is TJ Hawes. You should know who he is. Averaging 24.75 points a game. He had the game winner at the Great Western Shootout as well, and he's been battling a little bit of injuries. We'll see how he does tonight and how he's recuperating from that, as he has so many expectations on him here in his senior year. And then another name to remember is sophomore Frank Jackson, who's averaging 14.75 points a game. Both are committed to Brigham Young University, so it'll be fun to watch how they play. Jackson, as you mentioned, just a sophomore, so it'll be fun to watch his development throughout the years and throughout this season, being able to play with a player like TJ Hawes. For Brighton, we mentioned at the top, a little uneven to get started. They have played a terrific non-region schedule, have lost 3 games. They're 2-3 coming into the night, but those 3 losses are combined 11 points. And an overtime loss at Springville, a 4-point loss here and there, and just been a little frustrating, and a 3-point loss Friday night against Layton, looking to bounce back in that, from that loss. Brighton is led by a couple of football standouts, a couple names, if you followed our Rewind coverage, you might know, or if you just follow football in the state of Utah. Osa Messina, who's averaging 14 points a game, and Chandler G, who's averaging 13 points a game. Expect to see Brock Miller as well. Haven't seen him in the stat sheets. Excited to see if he's going to be out here tonight. He is one of the returning starters from last year's team. We know our teams, our players, and a couple of keys to the game. When we come back, it'll be the opening tip-off. You are watching High School Rewind only on Xfinity On Demand. And we are set for the opening tip-off. Lone Peak in the road, golds trimmed in black, and Brighton in their home whites. That's Spencer Curtis and Grimillion, and the tip is controlled by Lone Peak. Here's TJ Hawes. Pull for 3, and in and out. Halfway down comes out Osa Messina on the run. Messina inside. Grimillion misses it. Messina with the board. Oh, nice pivot move with the left hand too strong, and the board is taken by Zach Frampton on the run with the Knights. Frampton will pull up. Transition 3 is good for Zach Frampton, and it's 3-0 Lone Peak here in the early stages. Mentioned at the top, Lone Peak 3-1 on the season. The lone loss was in the Great Western Shootout against Overland, Colorado. For Brighton, been a tough start to the year, so many tough losses. How about the overtime loss to Springville, and then that loss on Friday night against Layton. Looking to right the ship here and get things going. Here's Osa Messina straight away near side to Vacherie. Off the screen, Vacherie steps inside the arc and a little too strong. Brock Miller will not play. Not suited up. He's yet to play this season. Here's TJ Hawes inside out. Here goes McKay Webster down the baseline. That pass picked off by Osa Messina. Messina going the other way. Messina pirouette in the lane. And a traveling call against Messina. And we'll go the other way with Lone Peak. Full court pressure from Brighton. And Frampton will bring it up the floor against the Vacherie. Pardon me, this is near side with Frampton. Frampton working on Osa Messina straight away. That's Jackson on the angle now with Spencer Curtis. And there's a foul away from the ball. And it'll go against Osa Messina. First team foul against Brighton. Webster to inbound, gets it into Frampton, and Frampton has the first 5 points of the ball game. 5-0 to lead for Lone Peak. Down the floor we go with Brighton. This is going to be so much of their offensive talent graduated a year ago. How are they going to match up, especially with Brock Miller not being able to start the season? Here's Gee for 3, and Gee from downtown. So Chandler Gee finds it from distance. 5-3 our score. 5:50 on a rolling clock in the first quarter. Frampton on the angle with Webster. That's Frampton. Frampton inside to Spencer Curtis. Curtis misses the point-blank shot. Here comes Gee on the run. Gee Now Messina. Messina inside out with Devassery. Devassery down the lane. Outside, 3 on the way and too strong. Rebound still loose. Tracked down by Devassery. Devassery hard to the hole, off the window, won't go. Rebound taken by Webster on the run now with Frampton. Nice job Messina getting back and stopping the ball. Here's Jackson for 3. And that's off the rim. And out of bounds off of Lone Peak, and we will go with Brighton. 5-3 our score. 5 minutes and 10 seconds on a rolling clock in the first quarter. High School Rewind, Dusty Litster with you. With Vince Francis. Try to go back door to Messina, picked off by Webster. On the run now, Frank Jackson. Jackson down the lane, gets into the body of Chandler Gee, and it'll be a foul. And Jackson, I believe, will go to the line. Saying it was on the floor. Haas into Curtis now straight away with McKay Webster. Starter still on the floor. Frampton down the baseline, gets it out to Curtis. Curtis will jump mid-range, no. Rebound, and on the run now with the Brighton Bengals. Here's Chandler Gee. Gee on the angle to Devassery. Cross court, here's Gee. Gee down the base. Gee into the corner. 3 on the way, and good. Nice looking shot from Benyon. That's Eric Benyon from downtown. Frampton going the other way. Pirouette high off the top of the backboard. Probably should have been called out of bounds, but it wasn't. On the run now with Gee. Gee going right at Webster. In the lane. Oh, nice find inside. And a shot no good. Gramillion could not finish it. Quickly back down the floor we go with Lone Peak. Here's TJ Haas. Crossover in the lane. Down the baseline. Floated up. No. From Webster. Rebound finally collected by Messina and ahead to Gee. 3 on the way from Gee, and that's off the mark. Rebound taken by Haas. Haas quickly back down the floor. Haas crossover in the lane, and we're going to have a travel. So turnover on Lone Peak, and we'll go the other way. 6-5 our score. Lone Peak leads 3:40. Remaining in the first quarter. Here's Chandler Gee. Outstanding wide receiver in the football season. That pass a little too hot to handle, too tall. And we'll go the other way. So back down the floor we go with the Knights. Hard to the hole. Heaton off the window and 1. That'll be the second foul on Osa Messina. And that will send Dylan Heaton, the 6'7 junior, to the line for Lone Peak. So Dylan Heaton at the line looking for the 3-point play. And completes it. 6-8 or 8-6 our score. 3:20 on a running clock. Quickly down the baseline with Brighton. There's a foul on the floor. Simi Fahoko is driving. With the first team foul against Lone Peak. Inbound shot on the way is too strong from Gramillion. Quickly on the run now with TJ Haas and the Knights. Haas on the angle to Frampton, back up top to Haas. Behind the back, Haas fall away jumper, rolls in and out. 2 shots from Haas have gone halfway down to come out. Quickly down the floor we go with Brighton. Here's Chandler Gee. Gramillion inside out, 3 on the way, and just short. Rebound. It'll be a loose ball foul against Gramillion. And we'll go the other way. That's a 14th foul on Brighton. Haas walking up the floor with 2:45 remaining in the opening quarter. Cross court. That was Alpin. Now here's Frampton. Back to Alpin. Alpin back to Frampton. And that pass picked off by Gee on the run now with the Brighton Bengals. Gee in the lane. Gee gets away from the contact and can't finish the layup. Did a nice job of splitting the defenders, could not finish. On the run now with Haas. Haas will pull up for the transition 3, and that's off the mark. Rebound to Gramillion on the run now with Chandler Gee. Here's Simi Fahoko back out to Gee. Gramillion thought about 3. Wisely held on. Here's Benyon. Benyon back to Gramillion. He's losing the handle. Turn it over. We'll go back with Lone Peak. Back down the floor we go with the Lone Peak Knights. Tough start at the beginning of this ball game, and a lot of energy coming from Brighton. Jackson Wisely walking back up the top of the floor in the Frampton. Frampton for three, and that won't go. Fehoko with the board on the run with Chandler Gee. Gee will step back at the top of the key. Benyon, oh, nice find inside. Drop step off the window and cannot finish. That's Bowen Smith now on the run with TJ Haas. Haas gets back. Oh, beautiful find inside, and Heaton will lay it up and in. Savvy play from Haas. Your shot's not falling, get other guys going. Drop it inside. Vermillion down the baseline. He stepped out of bounds. Turnover once again for Brighton. Back down the floor will go with Lone Peak. Haas breaks the full court press, gets it up to Curtis. Some of a foul on Gee. That'll be team foul number 5 on Brighton. First free throw was good from Spencer Curtis. Got one more. And that's good as well. 12-6 the lead for Lone Peak. 1:05 remaining in the first quarter. Back down the floor we go with Chandler Gee. Benyon, hand off to Vachery. Vachery trying to go into the corner to Benyon. Vermillion, nice find inside, and Smith with the easy 2. 12-8 our score. Quickly down the floor we go with 50 seconds remaining in the opening quarter for Lone Peak. TJ Haas will try to widen things out and eat up the clock. 45 seconds now showing. Here's Curtis. Nice find inside to Jackson, and Jackson with an easy 2. Beautiful find on the wing. Jackson with the score, 14-8. Now the lead for Lone Peak. Gee, now to Vachery. Back to Gee. 15 seconds now left in the quarter. 10 seconds. Gee, hard to the hole. Nice find inside. Smith can't handle it. Back in the corner. Benyon for 3, and that's too strong. Rebound to Jackson. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Jackson. Went for the pass of the shot. Now do it for the end of 1. The end of the first quarter, it's Lone Peak 14, Brighton 8. Beginning of the second quarter, an 8-point lead for Lone Peak. Here's Chandler Gee and the Brighton Bengals. Osa Messina, who saddled with 2 fouls. Nice find inside Vermillion off the window and good. Nice find from Osa. And he's going to be wise. He's going to pick up his 3rd foul. Save into Jackson, and there's number 3 on Messina. Got lucky he didn't have it in mid-court, and there's a foul here, and that's number 3 on Osa Messina. And he'll come out. Haas to inbound. Haas pump 3 inside the lane. Oh, nice find to Curtis, and Gertis lay it up and in. Nice setup there from TJ Haas. 16-10 our score. Fehoko can't handle it. Pass picked up and on the run now with Frampton. Frampton to Jackson. Jackson transition 3, and that's good from Frank Jackson. Timeout, Coach Gardner and the Bengals. 19-10 the lead to Lone Peak. After the timeout, down the floor will go with the Bengals. Outside Benyon. Drop it inside Vermillion. There's a foul on Dylan Heaton. That'll be the 2nd team foul on Lone Peak. Gee to inbound. Got to get it in. That's picked up by Haas on the run now with the Knights. Got Jackson near him. Jackson hard to the hole. Jackson lays it up and in. Well done by the Knights. 21-10 after turnover and points. Lone Peak distancing itself in the double digits. Here's Benyon. That's back for Fehoko. Now with the Vachery back to Fehoko. Simi staying on the perimeter. Benyon. Now Gee. Fehoko in the corner. And that pass picked off by Haas. And there's a foul on Benyon. It'll be 1-1 for Haas, because that's the 7th team foul on Brighton. Front end of 1-1 was good for Haas. And the second, good as well. 23-10 the lead for Lone Peak. Here's Chandler Gee, gives it to Vachery. That pass picked off again by Haas. 3 straight steals. Haas down the lane. Oh, nice job at controlling his body, getting the layup. 25-10, the lead now for Lone Peak. Devassery hands back to Guy on the angle with Benyon. Drops it inside to Fehoko. Now Guy. Benyon for three, and that's short. Rebound taken by Jackson. Jackson on the run. Jackson, oh, nice fake. Gives it to Frampton. He can't finish it. Rebound collected by Smith on the run. Now to Devassery. Devassery coming down the right side of the lane. Nice move inside of the defenders, and there's a foul. And I believe that'll go on Jackson. And now, no, it's on Haas, his first, team third on Lone Peak. Devassery made the first of two. And gets the second. 25-12. The lead for Lone Peak. Here's Haas. Haas in the corner. Frampton thought about three. Hangs on. Frampton inside the arc. Too strong. Rebound collected by Curtis. That's Alpin. Three on the way. No. Rebound to Smith. On the run now with Guy. Guy down the lane, and Guy will have a foul on the floor. Will inbound on the baseline. Guy to inbound. 5:35 remaining in the half. Here's Fehoko. Remember him? He was an outstanding football player for the Bengals who made it to the state championship game. That pass picked off by Alpin. On the run now with Lone Peak. On the angle, here's Haas. Haas to the hole. Haas in left hand. And he's fouled against Vermillion. And that'll be the 8th team foul on the Bengals. Haas made both free throws. 27-12 the lead for Lone Peak now. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the half. Here's Guy. On the angle, Fehoko. Now Benyon. Benyon, Devassery. Devassery out to Fehoko. Thought about three and hangs on. I'll give it to Guy. And Guy there has that one there has it stolen. And able to back it out. Fehoko. Benyon now to Guy. Guy will pull. And can't hit the mid-range jumper. And the rebound goes off of Frampton. And we'll stay here. Guy inbounds to Benyon. Drop it inside. Vermillion. Vermillion out to Guy. Guy for three. And that's off the mark. Rebound Vermillion. And oh, that it stripped away. Frampton got in there and took it away. On the run now, here's Frank Jackson. Jackson pulls for three. And that's out of bounds. We'll go the other way. (27-12) the lead for the Knights. Here's Guy. In the corner, Vermillion. Vermillion down the lane. Oh, nice find inside. And Devassery will lay it up and in. 27-14. Quickly down the floor will go Alpin. Jackson. Working on Guy. Halfway through the second quarter. Here's Frampton. Comes off the screen of Heaton. In the corner, Jackson for three. Jackson rips it from the outside. His second three of the half. 30-14 the lead. For Lone Peak, Haas set to check in. Guy down to Devassery. Devassery try to get it outside of Fehoko. Nobody home. Turnover will go the other way. To 14 the lead for Lone Peak. Down the floor we go with Frank Jackson. Jackson gets it to Haas. Haas, a deep three-pointer. And a TJ Haas for the first time from the outside. Finds the range, and timeout taken by Brighton with 3:18 remaining in the half. All Lone Peak 33-14. Their lead over Brighton. So after the timeout, 3 minutes and 15 seconds on a running clock. On the angle of Benyon. Benyon cross court, Fehoko. Now to Guy. Off the screen, and Vermillion hard to hold. Jackknifes it up and in. Nice play. We'll get back on the floor we go with Lone Peak. Cross court to Jackson. Jackson on the baseline. Fall away jumper, good. Oh, this young sophomore's got a lot of talent. 35-16. Fehoko, here's Guy. Now to Devassery. Fehoko. Been a tough offensive quarter. Part of that is Messina on the bench, saddled with 3 fouls. Here's Geese, pirouettes in the lane, gives it up. Jackson with the steal on the run, 2-on-1. Jackson, nice find inside and a layup from McKay Webster. Pushes it up, 37-16. Gee outside to Benyon. Here's Gamillion. Oh, nice move, Gamillion. And we're going to have a defensive foul on the floor against Heaton. Here's Chandler Gee. Final 2 minutes for Brighton to get something mounted here offensively. He gets some stops defensively. Devassery with the bump and count the bucket. Allow him to finish it. Give him the and one. So Devassery at the line. And he completes the 3-point play. 37-19 our score inside of 2 minutes. On the floor we go with Lone Peak. Here's McKay Webster. On the angle, Frampton. Drop it inside to Haas. And a tough call. Go gets Benyon to put Haas at the line to shoot 1-on-1. Haas made the first. And misses the second. Now on the floor we go. 19-point game. 38-19. Devassery. Outside to Gee, and another foul on the floor. And that'll put Brighton in the bonus. Second from Gamillion. Rattles it in. 38-21. On the floor we go with TJ Haas. Near side with Frampton. Spreading out the floor. Okay, Webster. Back to Frampton. Frampton on the baseline. Haas will jump it, and Haas will score it. Spread them out. Haas hits the jumper. 40-21. Here's Benyon. Benyon inside Gamillion. He'll jump it on the baseline. That won't go. Rebound taken by Webster. On the run now with Frampton. Frampton picking his way through the defense as that poked away from behind. And we will stay here with Lone Peak. Inbound to Haas, nearing 50 seconds remaining in the half. Haas up and under. And that's out of bounds off of Brighton, and we'll stay here. Webster to inbound. Oh, nice find into Curtis, and Curtis can't convert it. And we have a loose ball foul on Curtis. It'll be free throws for Devassery. Devassery made the front end. And gets the second. 40-23 our score. Click back down the floor we go. Here's Jackson, back it out to Haas. Haas back to Jackson. Jackson down the lane. Oh, nice find inside. And Curtis can't convert it, and he's fouled by Smith. And I'll send Nick Curtis to the line to shoot 2. Curtis made the first. Lips out the second. Messina back in the game for the final 30 seconds. Gee will hold it out near midcourt. And will hold out for the final shot of the half. Out to Messina. Messina in the lane. Messina misses it. And a rebound collected by Jackson. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. Jackson to the hole. Jackson left hand. No. Messina with the board. That'll count if it goes. It's blocked by Haas. And that'll do it for one half of play. After 2 quarters, all Lone Peak, they lead 41-23 over Brighton. Start of the second half. 18-point lead for Lone Peak. Jackson for 3. That rims out. Curtis keeps it alive. Picked up by Gee on the run now with the Bengals. See it, Brighton's got a run in them. Gee outside Messina. Benyon back to Messina. Osa holds. Osa down the baseline and has that pass picked off by Jackson. Beautiful job by Jackson of reading it. Here's Frampton. Back to Jackson. Here's Frampton. Now Haas. Haas down the lane. Pull up inside the arc. In and out. Rebound is loose. Vacheray and Guy were fighting over it. Curtis picked it up and lays it in. Back up to 20. 43-23 the lead for Lone Peak. Down the floor with Guy. Drop it in to Gramillion. Gramillion misses the jumper. Back down the floor we go with Lone Peak. Here's Jackson. Pull for three. And Jackson finds it from range. His third triple of the ball game. 46-23 the lead for the Knights. Here's Messina. It's off the screen. Out of Vacheray. On the angle, Guy look inside Gramillion. Has that stripped by Curtis and will foul. The two shots coming to the way of Gramillion. First free throw good from Gramillion. The second rims off. And back on the floor will go with Lone Peak. Here's Jackson. Cross court in the corner. Frampton for three. Frampton too strong. Curtis with the board. Back out to Haas. Haas in the lane. Terminates out to Jackson. Jackson down the baseline. Jackson changes his shot. Messina can't grab the rebound. Underneath, no good. And Messina comes away with the board. Webster misses the point-blank shot. Down the floor we go with the Bengals. Hard down the lane. Vacheray into the body of Curtis. And that will send Vacheray to the line. First free throw, no good. The second finds its way through. 46-25. Full court pressure coming from Brighton. And timeout taken by Lone Peak. 6:01 remains in the third. 46-25 the lead for Lone Peak. So after the timeout, Lone Peak breaks the press. Here's Jackson, hard to the hole. Oh, splits the defenders, lays it up and in. Nice take by Frank Jackson. 48-25 the lead now for Lone Peak. Messina loses the handle. On the run now with Haas. Haas on the floor. Inside, Frampton out to Jackson. Ball still loose, picked up by Guy. Guy going the other way. Jackson giving chase. Guy, nice move, lays it up and in. Haas and Messina got a little tangled up there. Haas back up on his feet and down the floor. 48-27, 5:20 on the running clock. Here's Jackson. Off the screen, Jackson, nice find inside. Curtis, hard to the hole, and we'll have a charge. Messina was camped underneath the hoop. Charge on Curtis. We'll go the other way. Five minutes remain in the third quarter. Here's Guy. On the angle, Vacheray drops it inside. Messina misses it, goes after it, keeps it alive. Guy can't track it down. Here's Frampton. Now Guy has it. On the room with Guy. Benyon for three. And Benyon rattles it home. 48-30 after the second three-pointer from Benyon. Benyon has that, slaps it away from Haas, but it's a foul. And we'll stay here. Inbound from Haas. Gets it into Curtis. Haas comes off the screen, fall away three. No, off the front of the iron. Jackson with the board. Can't get the putback, and Vacheray with the board. On the run now with the Bengals. Vacheray hands off to Messina. Osa splits the defenders in the corner. Guy for three. Too strong. Rebound to Vacheray. And we'll have a jump ball. Thought it was a foul, but a jump ball, and the Bengals will maintain possession. Messina to trigger. Into Benyon. Benyon in the corner, drop it inside. Thought about kicking it out, had it poked away. Tracked down, and Frampton can't save it. And we'll stay with Brighton. Guy to inbound. Gets it into Messina, hands back to Guy. Guy off the screen to Gramillion. Back to Gramillion, 4-3. And Gramillion finds it from range. 48-33. Maybe a little bit of a run in Brighton. Oh, nice find. Beautifully done by Haas. Draws the attention, gets it to Curtis. Nick Curtis lays it in. Vacheray back to Guy. Here Benyon. Osa Messina over the top. Vermillion loses the handle, saved, but no, by Curtis, and will inbound with Brighton under the hoop. Key to Trigger. Gets it into Vassery. Vassery in the lane, no. Vermillion loses the handle, taken by Frampton. Frampton's got in the middle of it with the big fellas, quickly down the floor. Jackson for three. No, gets his own board. Jackson with the left hand, lays it in. 3 Bengals there, nobody with the board, and Frank Jackson follows his miss, gets the bucket, and it's back up to 19, 52-33, with 3:18 remaining in the third. After the Lone Peak timeout, 52-33 with 3:15 remaining on a running clock in the third quarter. High post Vermillion. Spins in the lane. Vermillion is fouled. That's who the foul goes to. It'll be two shots coming to Vermillion. Vermillion missed the first. And the second just goes down. 52-34, quickly down the floor. Haas breaks the press in the corner. Jackson down the baseline. Jackson hanging in the air. Swatted away by Vermillion. On the run now with Benyon. Benyon off the screen. Vassery in the corner. Messina. Up top, Vassery drive the lane. Out to Benyon for three. That rattles out. Rebound to Frampton. On the move with Lone Peak. Here's TJ Haas in the lane, back out to Frampton. Frampton to Jackson. And Jackson slips to the floor, and there's a travel. And we'll go the other way with Brighton. (52-34) our score. Here's Guy. Benyon hands off to Vassery. Now Guy. Osa Messina. Drop it inside. Double team comes. Finds Guy inside. Back out. And that shot up on the way. And good. Nice looking jumper from John Vermillion. Cuts us down to 16. 52-36. I keep saying, does Brighton have a run in them? Frampton out to Haas. Haas working on Benyon. Terminates in the corner. Three on the way. And good from Alpin. Stepping up and doing his job, Mr. Alpin. 55-36 our score now. Benyon in the corner. Messina. Benyon. Now Messina. Cross court, Guy. Guy back out to Messina. He'll pull for three, and that's off the mark. Vermillion fighting for the board. It'll be a foul against Frampton. Pardon me. 15th foul on Lone Peak. Inbound to Vermillion. Try to get that ball to Fajoko. Picked off and now on the run with Haas. Haas tries to cross over, loses the handle. Here's Benyon. Benyon goes right at Heaton. And Heaton with the swat on the move now. Back down to Haas. Haas got to track it down, out of bounds. We'll go the other way with Brighton. (55-36). 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Here's Guy. Now Messina. A little isolation here. Messina backing his way down and gets a bucket. Osa Messina. 55-38. Down the floor we go with Haas. Haas down the lane. Oh, beautiful behind the back pass to Heaton. Didn't lead to anything. Here's Frampton. Frampton down the lane. In the corner, Alpin. Now Haas. Oh, beautiful pass to Heaton. Little less fancy pass, but it led to the bucket. 57-38. Terrific ball movement. An unselfish play there from TJ Haas. Guy will hold for the final shot. Guy down the lane. Guy hard to the hold. Put it up. No. Rebound still loose. In the hands of Haas. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Gets it to Heaton, and Heaton will lay it up at the buzzer. Very well done on the fast break to close the third. 59-38 the lead. Lone Peak over Brighton at the end of three. Beginning of the fourth quarter, 21-point lead for Lone Peak. Frampton now to Haas. Haas splits in the corner. Frampton for three. Frampton finds range. Been cold from the outside, and Frampton able to knock down the three to start the fourth. Pushes it up to 24 points. Here's Gee. Outside Benyon. Benyon holds on Messina. Messina now to Gee. Gee will work off the screen to Gramillion. Out to Messina. Now Gramillion. Messina powering his way into the hole. Misses it. Haas with the board ahead to Frampton. Gets it inside to Curtis. Curtis gets whacked in the head. The foul. It'll be the second team foul on Brighton. After the foul, Frampton the trigger. Gets it into Alpin. Out to Haas. Frampton finds Haas, but Haas can't handle it. And we will go with Brighton after the turnover. Now on the floor we go with the Bengals. Mentioned no Brock Miller. And you see they're missing just a little bit of firepower offensively. Here's Gee. Now out to Messina. Gee off the screen. And we're going to have a carry on Chandler Gee. And it'll be a turnover, and we'll come back with the Knights. Here's Heaton. Haas will pull it on the baseline. That won't go. Rebound. Taken by Benyon on the run. Get inside. Picked off. Ball head to Frampton. Frampton will track it down the corner. Now at the Haas. He'll pull for three. And TJ Haas from deep downtown. Push to the lead, 65-38. Here's also Messina. Messina inside out. Benyon for three. That's off the mark. Rebound to Frampton. Ahead to Haas. Haas will pull for the transition. Trey, no, and he'll go to the line to shoot three. That foul will be on Simi Fehoko. Missed the first, made the second. And gets the third. 2 out of 3 on the trip. His second miss from the line this evening. 67-38 the lead for the Lone Peak Knights. Messina outside to Benyon. Benyon cross court to Gee. Able to hang on. Messina back to Benyon. To the screen. Drop it into Messina, working on Haas. Haas slapped that away and will stay here. Gee to inbound. Gets it into Messina. Messina now to Fehoko on the angle. Gee, drop it inside to Smith. Made a foul on the inbound pass. Foul went against Heat and quick inbound to Benyon. Benyon and one. Took the slap and finished it. Benyon will go to the line to look for the three-point play. Benyon rattles home the free throw and completes the three-point play. 69-39. Alpin outside to Frampton. Working on Curtis in the corner to Haas. Haas in the lane. Heaton, now Frampton. And Frampton buries the three down the barrel. 70-41 now. It's impressive as there was only 16 points at the end of the first quarter. Benyon misses on the long three attempt. Fehoko with the steal, leaves it back for Gee. Gee in the corner to Messina. Messina will pull for three, and that's well too strong. Rebound taken by Smith, left hand, no. Messina with the board, left hand, no. Rebound, Smith put it up, and he will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Smith missed the first. And back rims the second. And that's out of bounds off Lone Peak, and we'll stay here. Bickmore to inbound. Oh, nice take to the hole and finish. That's Robbie Smith. 70-43. Before we go with McKay Webster. Outside to Frampton. Oh, pardon me, that's number 15. It's Tyson Doman. On the angle with Curtis. He holds and hands back. And this is McKay Webster. Now Curtis. Now Heaton. Tyson Doman. Now Alpin. That pass picked off by Fehoko. Fehoko keeps chasing it. Fehoko going to the hole. Fehoko with the adjustment lays it up and in. Went right at McKay Webster and able to finish it. 70-45. Alpin on the angle with Heaton. Straight away, Webster. Webster now to Alpin. Drop it into Curtis. Curtis backs his way in, terminates. Back out Alpin. Alpin will drive the lane in the corner. Heaton will pull for two. That's off the mark. Rebound taken by Fehoko. 2:50 remaining in the fourth. On the angle, here's Gee. Now Smith. Smith cross court, Fehoko for three, and Fehoko short rebound taken by Trevor Jensen. Jensen misses the putback, and Jensen now fouled. And will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. First free throw no good from Trevor Jensen. The junior forward for Coach Gardner. Misses the second, and the rebound taken. And back down the floor will go with the Knights. McKay Webster on the angle with Doman. Now Alpin. Webster looking in to Acton. Now outside. This is Bruni. Hard to the hole. Back out to Acton. Now to Doman. Outside Webster. Here's Bruni. A nice game for Lone Peak. They really had command of this game from the beginning. We had a close first quarter, but that second, third, and quarter were just so much distance plays as Marcus Acton makes a nice little jumper. And as we mentioned, Brighton still not at full strength without Brock Miller, but you see how strong Lone Peak is. Not the same Knights we saw a year ago, but still the same result, just good basketball. A nice take to the hole and finish by McKay Bickmore. And Coach Quincy Lewis, you know, so many people talk about a year ago with all the talent. He's had a lot of talent. Oh, beautiful find as Alpin will lay it up and in. And so many state titles for Coach Lewis. But you see what he produces. You see Tyler Hosnell, BYU, and along with Eric Mika, and also Jackson Emery, and so many different players that have come out of Lone Peak and have played well. And a three on the way, no. And the rebound taken by Alpin, including Mr. Hamilton, who played at LSU and then the NBA. And a timeout taken by Coach Lewis with 52 seconds remaining. It's 74-47 in favor of Lone Peak. Inbound in to Garrett Frampton. A couple of Framptons on the floor now. Tiptoeing away is Braden Bromley, and Bromley turns it over. And we'll go with Brighton. Looking up the floor, Bingham. Three-pointer on the way, and good. That's Tay Wickers. Oh, it's Matheson, pardon me. Matheson for distance, junior guard. 74-50. On the outside now with Frampton. Straight away with Wilson. Oh, nice find inside. Can't finish with the left hand. Bruni gets his own board, goes back up with the right hand, no. Still fighting for the rebound, and it's out of bounds off of Lone Peak. We'll go Brighton with 12 seconds remaining. So a tough way to go for Brighton. They will fall to 2 and 4. Remember, regions what matters. We'll talk about it in our post game. As that three at the buzzer is no good. And it's a convincing win for the Lone Peak Knights. They were off for 10 days. They come back and play well. Final score, Lone Peak 74, Brighton 50. Stay tuned for our post-game wrap-up. Welcome back to Brighton High School. Again, our final score, Lone Peak 74, Brighton 50. Convincing win for the Knights. They move on to 4-1 on the season as Brighton falls to 2-4, and a terrific game for Lone Peak. Been off for 10 days. Kind of wondered how much rust to be on their legs after a very tough tournament, the Great Western Shootout in Orem, and they really came out and played well this evening. Took a little bit to get going to that second, third quarter. Really just showed their strength, and I thought it was a terrific game from TJ Haas. So different as he does not force the act. If it's not going for him, he'll find other ways to get going, finding his teammates. He's a facilitator of the basketball, does a terrific job, and I thought TJ Haas was spectacular tonight, showing all the array of things that he can do. He will be our high school rewind player of the game. I thought Frank Jackson, who's a sophomore, played extremely well in this game. And Zach Frampton is someone who goes unheralded, as there always is on teams with a number of stars. Last year it was Toulson for the Lone Peak Knights. I thought tonight Frampton going after so many boards and battled down low and played a terrific game as well. A lot to be excited about for Lone Peak. Take a look at Brighton. On a night tonight, it was a little bit tough. You got to find a way to keep Osa Messina on the floor. So physical. You see, he's a football player playing basketball. So many fouls. He committed 3 fouls in the first half. But I thought Osa really played well and just brought a physicality to the game. Just not enough talent on the floor, enough offensive firepower to compete with Lone Peak on this evening. I thought Chandler Gee will continue to play well. And a number of guys will continue to go. And we kept talking about it, but Brock Miller is an outside threat for Brighton, rather, and we'll expect to see him come back and play well. And one name to remember throughout the year is Eric Benyon. Benyon was finding it from range as well. Well, again, our final score, Lone Peak 74, Brighton 50. Our player of the game is TJ Haas. Congratulations to Lone Peak and getting such a terrific start to the season. Hope to see him a lot more this year. For Vince Francis, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us on High School Rewind, only on Xfinity On Demand.